Welcome to the Explainer. You know, every developer hits this point. How do you get your amazing app out there on the web, ready for anything, without getting totally bogged down in managing servers? Well, today we're going to look at Azure App Service, which is pretty much built to solve exactly that problem.
So to really get why App Service is such a big deal, you have to understand this massive shift from what we call IaaS to PaaS. On the left, that's the old world. Infrastructure as a service. You're the system admin. It's all on you. The virtual machines, the operating system, the security patches, the whole shebang. But look at the right. With Platform as a Service, or PaaS, Azure just takes all of that off your plate. You get to focus on the fun stuff, your application and your data.
And really, that difference is what makes this question so powerful. This is the whole idea behind Azure App Service. We're about to see how it delivers on this promise by making the servers, well, pretty much invisible to you.
All right, let's get into it. So, App Service is Azure's fully managed platform for building, deploying, and scaling your web apps. Honestly, you can just think of it as the ultimate shortcut for getting your code running online, securely, and ready to handle whatever traffic you throw at it.
Okay, so the very first thing you need is something called an App Service plan. This is your foundation. I love this real estate analogy. The App Service plan is like the plot of land you're renting. You get to decide where it is by picking a region, what kind of foundation it has, Windows or Linux, and how big it is by choosing the amount of compute power. And the plan you choose, it's not just about more power, it's about unlocking more capabilities. The tier directly controls what you can actually do. Sure, the free tier is great for kicking the tires, but you can't even use your own domain name. The game really changes when you jump up to the premium tier. That's when you get the professional-grade features like Autoscaling and deployment slots, things you absolutely need for a serious production-level app.
Okay, so we've got our plot of land with the App Service plan. Now it's time to actually build the house, the App Service itself, which is where our code is going to live.
And creating the app is, incredibly easy. First, you just give it a name that's unique across all of Azure, and that becomes part of its web address. Then you tell Azure what your app is built with. Is it .NET, Node.js, Python, or even a Docker container? And here's the most important step. You link it to that App Service plan you just made. And just like that, you've put your house right on your plot of land.
All right, so what happens when your app takes off? It gets featured somewhere, traffic goes through the roof. What do? Well, this is where the magic of a PaaS like App Service really shines. You don't have to scramble to set up new servers, you just scale.
And you've got two main ways to handle all that new traffic. On the left, you can scale up. That's vertical scaling. You're just making your existing plan beefier, giving it more CPU and more RAM. Or, and this is really cool, you can scale out, which is horizontal scaling. Here, you're just adding more identical copies or instances of your app to share the workload.
Now here is the absolute best part about scaling up. When you decide to change your plan to a more powerful one, Azure handles it all behind the scenes, seamlessly. Unlike a traditional virtual machine where you'd have to schedule downtime, stop the machine, resize it, and start it back up, with App Service, there's zero downtime. The change just happens, instantly. And what's even better, you don't even have to do it yourself. You can set up auto-scaling rules. You can literally tell Azure, hey, if my CPU usage goes over 70%, automatically add another instance for me. And just as important, when it drops below 25%, scale it back in so I stop paying for it. It's like having a smart assistant managing your resources for you.
Okay, now for what I think is the real magic trick. How do you update your live running application without your users noticing a single thing? This is done with an incredible feature on the premium plans called deployment slots.
So just think of a deployment slot as a perfect clone, a duplicate of your production environment. It gets its own web address, and you can deploy your new code directly to this staging slot. You can test it, hammer on it, make sure everything is perfect, all while your real users are happily using the stable, live version, completely unaware.
Once you're totally confident that the new version is good to go, you perform a swap. Now, before anything happens, Azure warms up that staging slot, making sure the application is fully loaded and ready to handle requests. Then, with a single click, it just flips the switch. All of your production traffic is instantly rerouted to the new version. Your old version is now sitting in the staging slot, which is great, because if something went wrong, you can swap back just as fast.
So why is this such a game changer? It means you can innovate way faster. You can deploy updates multiple times a day if you want, without any of that stress about taking the site down or disrupting your users. This is just how modern, professional apps are managed, and App Service makes it so simple.
So let's just do a quick recap. Your app service plan is your foundation of compute power. The app services are the actual applications you build on that foundation. You can scale up for more raw power or scale out for more capacity. Autoscaling takes care of the load for you, and deployment slots lets you update your app like a pro with absolutely zero downtime.
You see, by taking away that whole burden of managing infrastructure, App Service frees you up to just focus on what you actually want to do: build awesome applications. It really does change the way you think about hosting. So the only question left is the one right there on the screen. Now that the servers are out of your way, what are you going to build next? Thanks for watching.